Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. The Rescue of Princess Blobette. No disrespect, but who? Let's start at the beginning with a man named David Crane. David first rose to fame by developing the game Pitfall, a platforming game for the Atari that got critical acclaim and is cited as essentially the grandfather of platforming games. As gaming moved into the NES era, people were wondering what David Crane would bring out next, and in 1989 he unleashed upon the world A Boy and His Blob. Although it wasn't one of the best-selling games for the NES, it still had a lot of popularity and was one of the biggest successes for its publisher, Absolute Entertainment. And in fact, it was so popular that 1 year after its release, the sequel, The Rescue of Princess Blobette, was released for the Game Boy. So that's all well and good, but there is one little thing that needs mentioning, which is that A Boy and His Blob wasn't that good. It wasn't bad, but at the end of the day, it was just a sort of repetitive and monotonous adventure game, where you play as a boy giving his blob jelly beans for different effects. It was just a big trial and error guessing game until you figured out where to go, and if you know what you're doing, you can beat the whole thing in 20 minutes. It does have its charm and a fun character though, which is probably why it still has its fans. And hey, maybe with some extra time and a smaller platform, the game could click a little more on the Game Boy. And my goodness, there's a lot to unpack on this box art. The photorealistic castle, the phrase David Crane's the boy's rather odd face. It feels like it was drawn by 4 people who weren't allowed to talk to each other. How did this classic NES game do with its Game Boy sequel? Nothing can stop the blob, but we're gonna stop in to the rescue of Princess Blobette. What? Oh, I thought it was gonna go into the Indiana Jones theme for a second. David Crane's A Boy and His Blob in The Rescue of Okay. I guess we didn't need to read that. This game only made by 5 people? That's kinda cool. Princess Blobette, there we go. Alright, let's do this. Okay. Well, it looks like the original. I have no idea why we are here or what's happening. No story was given. We're just in, like, prison. What do we do? Okay, we have... What does ketchup do? Here, take this. Oh, okay. So the gimmick is you give it jelly beans and it transforms. How about, what do we have a lot of that I can afford? How about some honey? Whoops. Okay, B summons the blob, and I believe untransforms it. Honey turns it into a hummingbird. Okay, Peck open the door. Tangerine? Tangerine is a trampoline. Aha! I got some more jelly beans. Oh my god, I got a ton of jelly beans, wow. Apple turns it into a jack because Applejack, ha 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 ha. Oh, lime. You know what? I bet it turns you into a key. I seem to recall that. Woohoo! Alright, let's go. This way. The child has died. Whoa, what the? Ow. That was weird, I was distracted by the slowdown. Wait, that's actually a little impressive, the way that the game sort of remembers where the blob is. What does vanilla do? Because I know one of these is an umbrella. Oh, perfect. The umbrella lets you float. There we go. I was standing on nothing for a minute there. Come here, my sweet tiny child. See, this is the problem with the game. It's just, you know, this is just like the NES one. It's just kind of dull. There's something down there. Which one of these? I know one of these is a hole. Cola. Nope, it's definitely not cola. Again, it's basically just an early adventure game with a different framing device. And it's just this massive trial and error to figure out what to do. And the problem is that gets really boring really quickly. Come on, come on. Come on, you there we go. It's like the blob is on a grid. It can only move very specific amounts of, spaces. Like, I'm all for exploration games, but What? Why die? Why did I die? And now the game is slowing down. What's happening? Okay, I don't want to hold this against the game. This very well might be an emulator problem. Oh, I think I hit the fire. That's why I died. Okay. Oh, a thing. Got more jelly beans, tangerine, root beer, honey. Oh, punch. Oh! You know what? I bet hole punch. Again, this is the problem with A Boy and His Blob. Like, this is translated the gameplay pretty perfectly. The problem is the gameplay wasn't that good to begin with. It's a very, very slow game. I got some coins. The child has died. Blob, come this way. Plunk. Oh no! The child! Weirdly enough, there's like, yeah, it's like every other death, the game slows down. Hang on. The child must sacrifice himself for the frame rate. Oh. Man, the funny thing is I've only seen like 5 or 6 screens so far. And I guess that's part of why people like the game. It's you... This game was the Dark Souls of its time. You just have to keep throwing yourself at the game until you win. Okay. Let's see if we can get something good going this time. It's funny, the detail on the castle itself is kind of nice, but the detail on everything else is like non-existent. Man, that's the worst. It only goes like 5 feet. Transform back. Come on. No, the child. We're fine. Wait, is this gonna kill me? No, we're fine. But there's nothing over here. Well, now what do I do with my life? Oh god, I'm bored. The game has its charm. It's definitely not horrible, but maybe it's just a me thing, but I get very bored with this game very quickly. I don't know. If you liked A Boy and His Blob, I mean, you'll like this because it's pretty much more of the same thing. And admittedly, maybe it's a bit more appropriate on the Game Boy. Oh, God! Okay, now... Oh, shoot! No. Okay, so the fire insta-kills you. Okay, before we finish, I do need to check something. This is driving me crazy. What is in that thing we found earlier that has the hole? There we go. Okay. We are safe from the fire. Punch. There it is. There it is. Okay. Come here, you stupid blob. Admittedly, I do like seeing the blob run like that. There you are. Here. Let's do this. Finally, we shall discover the secret. Yeah, it's not very good. Turns out, when you translate a meh game directly, you get, surprise, a meh game. From a technical standpoint, the gameplay and presentation of A Boy and His Blob was brought over pretty perfectly to the Game Boy, but just like the original Boy and His Blob, Rescue of Princess Blobette was kinda dull. You run around with your blob, finding jelly beans to feed it and make it transform to make progress. Like I said earlier, it's a big trial and error game, testing all the combinations and all the ways to go until you know what to do just by process of elimination. And gameplay like that gets really boring really quickly, especially when there are no enemies and death comes so quickly from a variety of sources. Essentially, it had all the negative hallmarks of an old adventure game. That said, after playing it, I'll admit I kinda see what people liked about it. While the gameplay didn't really click for me, it's certainly unique and really encouraged exploration and experimentation, something that a lot of NES games really lacked. In addition, the game did have a lot of charm to it. The graphics were simple but still kind of fun, the character animations were good and even pretty cute, and the process of finding what jelly beans to use and where to use them did lead to some good aha moments. It's the kind of game that can pretty much only be played once before you know what to do, but that first playthrough could be enough to really sell you on the positives of the game. If you think you'll enjoy an experimental and charming adventure game, then you could definitely find some fun in The Rescue of Princess Blobette. Otherwise, you can skip this one. Despite its charm, it's hard to get past the tedium of the game. And be prepared for disappointment. God, I'm still upset about that hole. And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm BrianJ, and I'll see you next time.